The cold metal of the spacecraft groaned under immense pressure as it plummeted through the alien atmosphere. Hana Kim's hands moved frantically across damaged control panels, her slender fingers desperately trying to stabilize the failing systems. Warning lights flashed deep crimson against the dark interior, each pulse matching the rapid beating of her heart. Outside the viewport, swirling clouds of toxic green and murky gray spun like violent hurricanes. The planet below looked unforgiving, jagged rock formations jutting from barren landscapes, no signs of water or vegetation anywhere. Her advanced navigation systems had been completely destroyed during the initial attack that forced her emergency escape. Memories of the space battle flickered through her mind. The sudden ambush by rival alien forces, the explosions that ripped through her mothership's defensive shields, the desperate scramble to launch her personal escape pod. Everything had happened so fast. Stabilization protocols failing. The ship's artificial intelligence announced in a monotone voice. Crash imminent. Survival probability 12.4%. Hana gritted her teeth. She was the queen of her species, trained in advanced survival techniques. But even she knew these odds were terrible. The ship began to shake violently, metal panels cracking under extreme external pressure. Her specialized environmental suit started to malfunction. Tiny warning indicators on her wrist display showed oxygen levels dropping, radiation protection weakening. The suit, designed to protect her in multiple planetary environments, was struggling against this world's harsh conditions. With a sudden violent jerk, the spacecraft began its final descent. Navigation systems went dark. Emergency backup generators kicked in, providing minimal power. Hana braced herself, knowing the impact would be catastrophic. The ground rushed up impossibly fast. Rocks and dust exploded around her as the spacecraft slammed into the planet's surface. A thunderous crash echoed across the desolate landscape, followed by complete silence. Twisted metal and smoking debris scattered across the rocky terrain. Inside the broken vessel, Hana lay motionless. Her specialized exoskeleton had absorbed most of the impact, but multiple system failures were evident. Blood-like liquid from her unique biological structure leaked from small fractures in her protective suit. External temperatures began to drop rapidly. The planet's harsh environment showed no mercy. Toxic winds started to sweep across the crash site, carrying microscopic particles that would be deadly to most living organisms. Hours passed. The once gleaming spacecraft now looked like a broken shell, half buried in rocky soil. No movement could be detected from inside. To any observer, it would seem that nothing could have survived such a devastating crash. But Hana was not dead. Barely conscious, her advanced biological systems were working overtime to repair internal damage. Her breathing was shallow, each breath a struggle against the planet's poisonous atmosphere. Her mind drifted between consciousness and unconsciousness. Fragments of memories played like broken recordings. Her royal lineage, the space battles, the mission that had gone terribly wrong. She had been traveling to negotiate a critical peace treaty between multiple star systems when everything went wrong. The ship's emergency beacon continued to pulse weakly, sending out a distress signal that seemed unlikely to be received. No, rescue seemed possible in this remote, hostile environment. As darkness fell across the alien landscape, the temperature dropped even further. Frost began to form on the spacecraft's damaged exterior. Inside, Hana's body temperature continued to decline, her specialized metabolism fighting a losing battle against the planet's extreme conditions. She was alone, stranded, seemingly without hope. Little did she know that several kilometers away, a human exploration team was about to make a discovery that would change everything. The planet continued its indifferent rotation, winds howling across empty landscapes, carrying dust and toxic particles. Another hour passed, then another. The broken spacecraft remained silent, a testament to a crash that seemed to promise only death. The research vehicle moved slowly across the rocky terrain, its heavy wheels crushing small stones beneath them. Jae Choi sat in the driver's seat, his eyes scanning the horizon through advanced geological mapping systems. Next to him, Soo-Jin Lee adjusted her scanning equipment, her fingers moving carefully across the digital displays. "Something's different about this region," Sujin muttered, tapping the screen several times. Her device was picking up unusual energy signatures, not typical of the planet's natural geological makeup. Byung-ho Kim, the team's communication specialist, leaned forward. His thermal imaging equipment showed a faint heat signature in the distance. Most planetary readings would be cold and uniform, but this spot seemed different. "Stop the vehicle," he said suddenly. Jay pressed the brake, the research vehicle coming to a smooth halt. Dust clouds settled around them, creating a momentary veil of silence. Jan Park, their medical officer, pulled out a high-powered telescope. Her trained eyes scanned the distant landscape. At first, nothing seemed unusual. Then a glint of metal caught her attention. "I see something," she whispered. The team exchanged glances. On unexplored planets, unexpected metal formations could mean anything. Geological anomalies, ancient asteroid impacts, or something more intriguing. Jay carefully maneuvered the vehicle closer. As they approached, the metal structure became more visible. It was clearly a spacecraft, but unlike any design they had ever encountered. Half buried in rocky soil, its exterior showed signs of severe damage. Sujin's scientific curiosity was immediately triggered. "Definitely not a natural formation," she said, checking multiple sensor readings. "This is artificial, possibly a crash site." Byung-ho began preparing communication protocols. Their training emphasized caution during first encounters with unknown technological artifacts. Potential biological or technological hazards could be present. The vehicle stopped approximately 200 meters from the crashed spacecraft. Jan started running initial environmental scans. Radiation levels were unusual but not immediately dangerous. Atmospheric composition showed some toxic elements, but nothing their protective suits couldn't handle. "I'm detecting a very faint biosignal," Jan said, her voice a mix of excitement and professional caution. "Something is alive in there." Jay checked the readings himself. She was correct. A weak but definite biological signature was emanating from the spacecraft's interior. They prepared their exploration gear carefully. Each team member understood the potential risks. This could be a simple mechanical anomaly, or it could be something entirely unprecedented. Sujin's geological expertise noted the spacecraft's unusual landing trajectory. "This wasn't a standard landing," she observed. "More like a desperate crash." As they approached the vessel, its size became more apparent. It was larger than their initial assessment, with complex metallic structures that seemed both advanced and severely damaged. Byung-ho activated the universal translation device. Standard protocol demanded they be prepared for potential communication, no matter how unlikely. Jan moved closest to the spacecraft, her medical scanner working overtime. "The biosignal is weak," she reported. "Whatever is inside is barely alive." A sudden wind swept across the landscape, carrying fine dust particles. The research team's protective suits automatically adjusted, filtering out potential contaminants. Jay made the decision. "We're going to investigate," he said firmly. Carefully. They moved closer, each step calculated and precise. The spacecraft seemed to watch them, a silent testament to a journey interrupted. No one spoke about the potential implications, but each team member knew this moment could change everything they understood about life beyond their own planet. Something was waiting inside that broken vessel. Something that had traveled unimaginable distances. Something that was about to challenge everything they knew about the universe. Yeon's hands moved with practiced precision, her medical tools carefully analyzing the strange biological readings. The alien queen lay motionless, her body systems barely functioning. Nothing in her medical training had prepared her for this moment. "Her cellular structure is completely different," Yeon whispered to her teammates. "But somehow, remarkably, similar to complex biological systems we know." Jay watched carefully as Yeon worked. Their protective suits created a sealed environment inside the makeshift medical area they had set up near the crashed spacecraft. Every movement was calculated, every decision critical. The alien's breathing was shallow. Strange liquid-like substances replaced what would be blood in human bodies. Her skin, if it could be called skin, shimmered with a metallic quality that seemed to change color based on internal temperature and energy levels. Sujin brought specialized equipment to analyze the environmental requirements. Her body needs a specific combination of gases, she reported. We'll need to modify our life support systems. Byung-ho worked on the translation device, trying to establish some form of communication. The device flickered, capturing fragmented signals from the aliens' internal communication systems. Hours passed. Slowly, carefully, the team began to stabilize the alien queen's condition. Yan used a combination of their medical technology and careful observations of the alien's biological responses. Each intervention was a calculated risk. Suddenly, the alien's eyes opened. They were not like human eyes, more like complex, shifting patterns of light and color. For a moment, everything in the room stood completely still. The translation device crackled to life. "Who are you?" The words were broken, uncertain. Jay stepped forward. "We are humans," he said simply. "We found you and are helping you survive." The alien's response was unexpected. A wave of confusion and surprise seemed to emanate from her entire being. Primitive beings. Helping. The translation was imperfect, but clear enough. Yan continued her medical work, adjusting environmental controls. The alien watched her with a mixture of curiosity and confusion. Each movement of Yan's hands was precise, calculated, a dance of medical expertise that seemed to fascinate the alien queen. "Your medical techniques," the alien attempted to communicate, "they are creative, unexpected." Sujin brought additional scanning equipment. The alien tensed momentarily, then relaxed as she realized their intentions were not hostile. Days passed. Slowly, the alien queen, who they learned was named Hana, began to recover. Her body adapted to their makeshift medical environment. The team learned she was part of a complex species with biological technologies far beyond human understanding. But something more important was happening. Beyond the medical intervention, a connection was forming. Hana began to share fragments of her knowledge. Not through words, but through complex biological signal transfers that the team's equipment slowly learned to interpret. Glimpses of her civilization, her journey, her mission, all became gradually clear. Byung-ho worked tirelessly on communication. What started as broken translations became more coherent conversations. The alien queen was learning about humans just as the humans were learning about her. "Your ability to adapt," Hana communicated one evening. "It is remarkable." Jay smiled. "We do what we must to survive," he responded. The medical bay became more than a place of treatment. It became a space of discovery, of unexpected connection, between two vastly different forms of intelligent life. Outside, the harsh planetary environment continued its indifferent existence. But inside, something extraordinary was happening. A primitive species was saving an advanced alien queen. A connection was forming that would challenge everything both species understood about intelligence, survival, and compassion. The research tent buzzed with an unusual energy. Hana's advanced knowledge began to merge with human understanding, creating something entirely unexpected. Byung-ho's translation device now worked almost perfectly, bridging the massive communication gap between species. Sujin spread geological maps across the portable digital screen. Her hands moved quickly, showing Hana the planetary formations they had studied. The alien queen's eyes, complex light-shifting patterns, absorbed every detail with remarkable intensity. "Your understanding of planetary structures is primitive," Hana communicated, "but surprisingly innovative." Jay watched the interaction carefully. Where another scientific team might have felt insulted, they saw an opportunity for learning. Hana's technological knowledge was centuries ahead of human development, but human creativity seemed to fascinate her equally. Yan brought medical scanning equipment. She wanted to understand the aliens' unique biological systems. Hana, surprisingly, cooperative, allowed detailed examinations. Her body seemed to communicate through color changes and subtle energy pulses. Your medical techniques use physical interventions, Hana observed. Our civilization repairs through energy manipulation. To demonstrate, she projected a small holographic representation of cellular repair. Complex energy threads moved through microscopic biological structures, healing damage instantaneously. The human team watched in absolute amazement. Byung-ho recorded everything. Each moment was a potential breakthrough in interspecies understanding. The translation device captured not just words but emotional undertones, something far more complex than simple language translation. Soo-jin discovered something extraordinary during geological discussions. Hana's species had developed technologies to understand planetary core structures in ways humans had never imagined. Complex energy mapping allowed them to predict geological changes centuries in advance. Your planet's core has 3 potential shift points in the next 500 years, Hana casually mentioned. The information was mind-blowing to the research team. Jay realized they were experiencing something unprecedented. This wasn't just a rescue mission. This was a profound knowledge exchange between 2 intelligent species. Hana began sharing technological blueprints, not complete designs, but conceptual frameworks that human scientists could potentially develop. Energy transmission technologies, advanced medical techniques, planetary exploration methodologies. The research tent transformed into a learning space. Complex holographic displays showed intricate technological concepts. Human scientific understanding expanded with each passing hour. Humans are different, Hana communicated one evening. Most advanced species we've encountered are rigid. You adapt, you create, you imagine. Her words carried a respect that surprised the team. They weren't just being studied. They were being appreciated. Jan's medical research took unprecedented turns. Hana's biological systems showed healing capabilities that could revolutionize human medical understanding. Energy-based cellular regeneration, adaptive immune responses, multidimensional healing techniques. Byung-ho worked on communication protocols. Each conversation revealed layers of cultural complexity. The alien queen's civilization had traveled across multiple star systems, encountered hundreds of intelligent species, yet found humans uniquely intriguing. Your potential is extraordinary, Hana said. Her communication carried a tone of genuine admiration. Soo-jin mapped their technological exchanges. What started as a rescue mission was becoming a comprehensive knowledge transfer. Geological understanding, medical techniques, energy manipulation. Entire scientific domains were being reimagined. Jay understood the mission had transformed. They weren't just helping an alien survivor. They were participating in a profound, interstellar cultural exchange. As planetary winds howled outside their protective research environment, something remarkable was happening inside. 2 different intelligent species were learning from each other, breaking down barriers of understanding, creating connections that transcended biological differences. The universe, vast and mysterious, had brought them together. And in this moment, on a distant, harsh planet, humanity was proving itself to be far more than just a primitive species. Something extraordinary was unfolding, something that would change everything. The research vessel hummed with preparation. Hana's spacecraft, once broken and defeated, now stood partially repaired. Jay and his team had worked tirelessly, using a combination of human innovation and alien technology to rebuild the damaged systems. Byung-ho completed the final communication protocols. Hana's departure was imminent. Everything they had learned, everything they had shared was about to be tested on a much larger stage. Your Galactic Council will not believe this, Jay said, a hint of concern in his voice. Hana's response came through the translation device. Her energy patterns shifted, creating a complex display of emotions. They will have no choice but to listen. Jan performed final medical checks. Hana's biological systems were now stable, enhanced by their combined medical knowledge. What had begun as a desperate rescue had become something far more profound. Sujin uploaded the geological and planetary data they had collected. Hundreds of terabytes of information would accompany Hana back to her civilization, discoveries that could change human understanding of planetary sciences forever. The team gathered around the repaired spacecraft. Each member carried a mixture of excitement and uncertainty. They were about to send one of their team's most significant discoveries back into the vast universe. "I will speak for humanity," Hana communicated. Her words carried a weight of promise and determination. The spacecraft's systems began to activate. Complex energy patterns danced across its surface, technology far beyond human comprehension coming to life. But now, it was different. Now, it carried the mark of human innovation. Jay stepped forward. "What will you tell them?" he asked. Hana's response was unexpected. "The truth. That humanity is not what the galactic records suggest. That you are adaptable, creative, compassionate." Byung-ho checked the communication systems one last time. Every protocol was perfect. Every system functioning at maximum capacity. The team watched as Hana prepared for departure. Their months of work, their incredible journey of discovery, had come down to this moment. Suddenly, the spacecraft's communication system picked up an incoming transmission. The mood in the research tent changed instantly. Hana's body language shifted, her energy patterns becoming more intense. "Incoming message. From my civilization," she communicated. The transmission was brief but devastating. Her civilization was preparing for a massive conflict. The peace mission she had been originally sent on was now irrelevant. War was coming. Jay saw the change in Hana's energy patterns. Defeat. Complete and total defeat of her original mission. But something else emerged. Determination. "They do not know about humanity," Hana communicated. Her voice carried a new resolve. "I will change that." The spacecraft's systems began a complex startup sequence. Years of advanced technology, now modified with human innovative touches, prepared for interstellar travel. Sujin made a final data transfer. Geological maps, scientific discoveries, medical breakthroughs. Everything they had learned would go with Hana. Yan performed final medical checks. Hana was ready. More than ready. Byung-ho activated the final communication protocols. The universe waited. The spacecraft began to hum. Energy patterns increased. The very air seemed to vibrate with potential. Jay looked at his team. They had done something extraordinary. They had saved an alien queen. They had shared knowledge. They had created a connection that could change everything. "Good journey," Jay said simply. The spacecraft lifted. Slowly at first, then with increasing speed. Within moments, it would break through the planet's atmosphere. Within days, it would reach galactic communication ranges. Hana carried with her not just data, not just scientific discoveries, but a message about humanity. "We are here. We are capable. We are more than you know." The sky opened. The spacecraft disappeared.